From sunrise to sunset, come along with me and my dogs as I travel any and everywhere I want to drive, because home is where I park it. I'm like, oh, makeup, yuck. Either way. So it's 8 in the morning, like 8:07. I'm tired at 8:07 in the morning. And that's not my per use, because I'm usually up at 6. The problem is, a few minutes before 4, my son's baby mama calls me. I answer the phone like, it is almost 4 o'clock in the morning. What do you want? And she tells me that my son called the police on her. And I'm like, huh? She said my son called the police on her because he wanted to sleep in his own bed by himself. So minutes later, the police show up. We get in the house, and it all boils down to, I believe he came home a little drunk. He wasn't drunk because I've seen that boy drunk. So he was a little inebriated. And, like, I've seen him drunk, like, fall out on the floor. I've seen him drunk. Like, I have. I think it's hilarious. I don't care what you think. If you're like, oh my goodness, you think he's 23. He's 23. So yeah, I've seen him drunk. I've drank with him. Like, it's all good. As long as you drink responsibly, I think it's all good. So it basically boils down to, he came home a little tipsy, and he wanted to sleep in his bed alone. Like I told him, I said, you lost the right to sleep in your bed alone when you decided to have your baby mama live with you. I'm like, so that doesn't work. And even the police said, he was like, your mom's right. Like, when you decided to move her in, sleeping alone isn't really an option. Like, but the issue he has with her is, like he said we are in the economy where one person just can't work and the other person sit at home. He was like, you need to get up and do something, go to work. He said, you don't donate, you don't, like, and he's talking about donating plasma, because I hit my son to that when he was 18. Like, I was known for donating plasma back in the day, like, seriously. Like, he was like, you haven't brought any income to the table. And he was like, he told the police, he says, she was raised wrong. He was like, she was raised wrong. She doesn't respect, and she's like, he said she has terrible morals. And the thing, I forget the rant that he said, but it was hilarious, because I was just like, okay, he does see it. He does see it, because I have many of complaints with her as well, but she's not my woman, so why do I need to speak on her? Like, but yeah, because he's feeling the pressures of being head of household. It is not fun. And he told her, he was like, you can go to work and still take care of a baby. My mama did it. I was just like, oh, that was just like, he hugged my heart. Like, he hugged my heart, because yes, man, the day I had my daughter, I had to call off work so I can go to the hospital and have a baby. Like, you don't have to work as many hours as he has to, but woman bringing some type of income. And like, and even if she like, and I know I set somewhat of a terrible example, because she's seen me not work. She's seen me not work, but I'm 41, and I've made it to that status where I didn't have to work, like, for quite a bit. I haven't worked in 2 years. Now I'm trying to find a job, because, you know, marital relations, we have issues. Like, but when I wasn't working, when I wasn't working, my husband was making $100,000 a year at Tyson. I wasn't working, but I wasn't sitting around the house doing nothing all day, because I remember my son, when he was living there, he told me, he said, you do too much. Like, how can you not have a job and still are known for doing too much? For one, I was a taxi. I drove my son to work. I picked him up from work. I drove my husband to work. I picked him up from work. I still at a point in time, I did still put in some hours at DoorDash, and even when I stopped putting in hours at DoorDash, I was out feeding the homeless on from my own dime. Seriously, I used to go to work for DoorDash just so I could afford to buy food for the homeless and feed them. But also, I volunteered. Like, I volunteered every Thursday at No Boundaries. I did work. I volunteered. Well, technically, it's not volunteer when they ask you to do vacation Bible school at church. So yeah, I worked with the children, and I used to teach Sunday school anytime they needed a substitute Sunday school teacher at church, and I'm talking about the adult class. I taught Sunday school. Like, and I used to minister to the world. Like, seriously, I used to have a YouTube channel. Well, it's not even used to, I need to get it back up and active. Like, but I had a YouTube channel where I was out there reading my biblical devotions to everybody who wanted to hear it. And do you know how many people would email me or message me, like, because they had questions, or they needed spiritual advice, or they would just tell me how I was uplifting them. Like, so no, I did stuff other than just sit around the house and clean and watch TV. Like what in the world? A fly was on. Man, if you don't live in the desert, you don't know how the flies are in the desert. It's not like the rest of the world. It's not like we have an insane amount of flies in the desert, and then we have, and you know how in the rest of the most of the world the flies disappear in the winter. Oh no, we have winter flies too. We do. And some of our flies bite us. Like, Pearl's licking me. She said, "Good morning, Granny." Right, but yeah, I forget what was the purpose of me talking. They left at 4 something in the morning, and I got back into bed, and I remember seeing 5 something, and I don't know if I fell back asleep because my dogs tell me it's time to get up, and I fed them, and I'm tired, but I know I'm not going to fall back to sleep. And I have business meetings. They're via Zoom, but I have business meetings later on today. Either way, I'm going to tell you, if you're in a relationship, whatever, if you were in a relationship and you guys are living together, whatever the arrangement be, support your spouse. Make that person feel supported, because if they don't feel supported, then eventually they're going to blow up. Like, seriously, you can only take being in a relationship and feel like I want to take you for granted. The Barbie movie, right? I want to take you for granted. I want to push you around. When I first got married to the current husband I'm with, because my first husband's dead. So when I first got married, I heard that song, and I told my husband, I said, that is the most romantic love song there is. And he was just like, what? How is that? He's like, I want to take you for granted. I said, because it's the truth. And he was like, what? I said, that's the only love song I know to be true. I want to push you around and take you for granted, because I've only known toxic relationships. Like, but yeah, you can only put up with so much stress from your spouse or your significant other, whatever you want to call this person, for not appreciating you and showing appreciation. And that's the number one issue we have with the daughter-in-law. She doesn't show appreciation. Even she lived in my house for free for a whole year and couldn't clean anything but up after her and my son. Like, y'all don't pay rent, y'all don't pay gas, y'all don't pay electric, you didn't pay Wi-Fi, you didn't pay for water, and you don't think you shouldn't sweep the house every once in a while? Oh no, you just take care of you and yourself. Like, when I said something to my son about that, he was like, yeah, I told him like 2 weeks ago, I said, she's delusional. And he said, yup. And I'm so glad that he sees what I see, because I've wanted to snap her neck, and I'm just like, he got a whole long life ahead of him with this woman, whether he's with her or not. But they got a baby together, like, and it just, sometimes it's easier to walk away than it is to stay in a toxic relationship. But if you insist on being in a relationship, make your significant other feel supported, because nothing is worse being in a relationship than feeling like you're being taken for granted. That's just it sucks majorly. All right, Pearl wants to give me kisses. I'm going to lay back down. I don't know what's in the air in Amarillo, but let's say 13 days ago, my husband moved out. And now, today, my son's baby mama moved out. I made a joke to my mom. I said, all the white people moved out my house. She's gonna say, well, Isaac's still there. Isaac's half white. No, he got a quarter. No, I don't know why she's saying he's half white. He got a quarter white. I'm half white. I'm a half white and he's a quarter white. Like, we don't count. We don't count. When you look at us, do you see honky? No. So we don't count as the white people. The purebred white people have left our house. Like, oh, what's going on? Like, why do they think this is going to make us want them? They moved out. Bye. Bye. Like, his issue with her is she don't work. You don't do anything. Not even just not work. Like, he tells you don't even have to work 20 hours a week. Just 10 hours a week. Do something. Go volunteer. Like, all she does is just sit in the bed and do nothing. I love her, but all she does is just sit in the bed, play on the phone all day. Like, my husband, no, he's just, he got a negative attitude. He says, I'm mean to him. No, you started it. You started it. I'm such a child. You started it. I tell him, he's like, I don't know why I'm still getting punished over stuff I did years ago. Bruh, I'm over it. I don't have no emotion of the portrayal of what you did years ago. It's every time you walk in the room, you walk in and you bring negativity. And I'm an Aries. I'm going to match your not even match it. I'm going to double your negativity. So if you walk in the room and you're negative to me, I'm going to be so negative to you that you're going to be like, what did I do? Like, these people. My mom's like, so what are we going to do? We got a 3-bedroom house. And I'm living in my truck because I made my truck because I want to live in my truck. I don't want to live in the house. Like, Isaiah and his baby mama. Isaiah and Hannah. Like, all she has to do is do something. Like, seriously, who's gonna watch the baby? If she worked an opposing shift as him, then he could watch the baby. But while I'm here, I could be watching him. Been here for 4 weeks. You didn't think, oh, she could watch him. You want me to watch him while I'm in the house? And he just keeps on crying because he cries if he doesn't see somebody because somebody got that little 6-month-old baby spoiled. But I could easily watch my grandson. He's my grandson. I would love to watch him. I know how to watch and conduct business at the same time. Like, and she signed up with Primerica just like me. Like, she signed up with it in January and hasn't progressed. I signed up with it 2 weeks ago, and I think I've done more in the 2 weeks than she's done in 6 months. I don't know. Like, it's not impossible to work from home. It just, you got to be your own motivator, and that's the problem with her. She has no motivation to do anything. When she met my son, she was suffering from depression, and it is clear to me that lady is still depressed because she doesn't do anything. That's one of the major signs of depression. You have no motivation to do anything. And she gets upset because she's expected to do something. I told him, like, she needs some counseling. She needs to sign up for BetterHelp and get her some counseling. No, this is not sponsored, but I'm saying she needs to get her some counseling. She has insurance, then go get counseling through your insurance. Like, if you're not okay in the brain, and that's not saying you're crazy, that just means you're going through some things and you need somebody to help you out through it. If you're not running to Jesus to have him help you and solve all your problems, then you need to go to another trained professional. I suffered through depression many a times in my life. They tell me I have chemical depression and situational depression. Situational depression makes sense. Like, bad things happen, it make me sad. Chemical depression means my body is naturally programmed to be on the sad side. Like, what? If you check the chemicals in my body, they're programmed to veer towards the sad. God just made me to be a little bit sadder than most. And it's funny to me because most of the people who know me don't ever see me anything but happy. Even the people who know me the closest don't ever get to see me when I'm unhappy. No, I know exactly what happened. When I was 10 years old, I moved in with my grandmother, and I cried every single time I was sad, and she would make fun of me. I don't believe those crocodile tears. Like, you better stop that. So she reprogrammed me to hold my emotions in. So when I'm sad, I don't show it to anybody. My dogs have seen me cry millions of times. Like, but people, I don't cry in front of people. I don't cry in front of people, and I think that's one reason why there's been a couple of videos that I put out there that you see me crying, and I've got it through my heart that I need to stop showing people that I'm strong all the time, because people just tell me, "Oh, you're so strong, you're so strong." I've had many of ex-boyfriends. They put me through the ringer because they think, "Oh, you're strong, you can handle it, you can handle it." They never see me break down, and it's like, when they did, they never saw me break down. I'm like, I can't think of a single time that I cried in front of a guy. Like, if you're one of my exes and I cried in front of you, please contact me and remind me of when. Like, because I don't show that side to people, because my grandma Nellie messed me up. You crocodile tears. And my dad, I remember being a little girl, "Oh, you keep on crying, I'll give you a reason to cry." Obviously I'm crying because I have a reason to cry. Like, no, it's healthy to express your emotions, and that's why I cry. I come in here and I cry. I let it out. When Opal died, oh my goodness, I cried and I cried. When Diamond died, I cried and I cried and I cried. And even, I know Valerie, my little chihuahua, because she had a stroke in, what was it, maybe November or December. She's out of her mind. She's old as I don't know what, and she's out of her mind, seriously. Like, and we just know she's on the next to go. Like, when she goes, even though she drives me crazy because she lost her mind and she just messes on herself all the time. Like, she wakes up, pees, and then gets up and walks away. Like, so yeah, she pees in the bed, whatever I put her in, she pees, and I try to put her in the bathroom so she'll sleep in the bathroom, and nope, she pees in the bathroom, then she'll get up and walk away and then try to poop somewhere. Like, even when that little munchkin dies, I'm gonna cry. It is healthy to cry. And the Bible says there's a time for everything, and there's a season to mourn. It's healthy. And the Bible also says that God is near the brokenhearted. So if you're sad, don't hide it. Don't hide it. It's okay to not be okay. Like, I've been sad for months. This has just been the saddest year of, I can't say the saddest year of my life, but this has been a very sad year for me, and I've cried a lot, and it's okay. It's okay, because after I cry, I feel so much healthier. So don't be afraid to cry.